You ever find yourself in a place that just doesn't feel real? Like you look around and everything looks normal at first, but deep down something's off. Like the world forgot about that little corner, and whatever lives there knows it. That's exactly how it was with Dark Manor. It was late July, a summer road trip across New England. Just me and my cousin Evan, chasing ghost towns and weird roadside attractions. He had a thing for filming abandoned places for his small YouTube channel. Me, I just tagged along to make sure he didn't fall through a rotted floorboard or get eaten by raccoons. We'd been on the road for 6 days when we rolled into this forgotten stretch of Vermont. No signal, no towns for miles. Just dense pine trees and mist hanging low like something was crouched beneath it. That's when we saw the gate. It looked like it had been there for centuries. Rusted iron, tangled in dead ivy, barely hanging on its hinges. But what got me wasn't the gate. It was the road beyond it. Old, cracked, nearly overtaken by grass and weeds, but still somehow walkable, like something or someone used it often. And at the end of that path, just barely visible through the trees, was a house. No, not a house. A manor. Huge, black as pitch. Gothic towers, arched windows, spiked railings curling up like claws. It looked like the kind of place they film horror movies in, only this wasn't a set. It looked old, yes, but not abandoned. The paint wasn't peeling. The glass wasn't broken. It just stood there silent, massive, waiting. Evan practically jumped out of the car. "Dude," he grinned, pulling out his camera. "This is it. This is the spot." He was already filming before I even got the engine off. I remember just sitting there, staring at that place. Something in my gut told me no, like a scream buried so deep you could barely hear it. I should have listened, but I didn't. The iron gate gave way with a groan that felt too loud in the still air. Every step down that overgrown path felt heavier than the last. No birds, no wind, just our footsteps and Evan's dumb narration for his video. "We've just discovered this crazy mansion in the middle of nowhere. No records, no history, just sitting here like a secret." The front door wasn't locked. That was the first warning. It opened like it had been waiting for us. Inside it was cold. Not the kind of cold you get from lack of sunlight, but bone-deep cold. Like the walls had forgotten how to hold warmth. The air smelled like old books, burnt wood, and something faintly sweet, like rotting fruit. We stepped into a massive entry hall. High ceilings, twin staircases curving up both sides, and a chandelier hanging above us, coated in dust but still glimmering faintly like it wanted to show off. The floor beneath our feet was marble, cracked but clean. Too clean for a place no one had lived in for decades. And the weirdest part? There were no cobwebs. None. Like something took the time to wipe them away. Portraits lined the walls. Dozens of them. All old-fashioned, oil-painted, and all of the same pale-skinned, hollow-eyed family. Men with sharp cheekbones. Women in dark gowns. Children who never smiled. Most of the faces were blurred, like time had smeared their identities, or something had erased them. Evan was loving it, filming everything, grinning like a kid on Halloween. I tried to play along, but I couldn't shake the feeling that we weren't supposed to be there. Then we heard the noise, a single dull thud, from upstairs. Then another, and another, steady, slow, footsteps, Evan looked at me, eyebrows raised. Could be an animal? He whispered. Then why are the steps so even? I replied. He shrugged. Let's find out. Against every instinct screaming in my chest, I followed him up the left staircase. Each step creaked under our weight, but the sound didn't echo like it should have. Felt swallowed, like the house was absorbing the noise, watching, measuring us. We reached the second floor, and the air got colder. I could see my breath fog in front of me. The hallway was long, lined with doors on either side, each one closed except for the one at the very end. Evan moved toward it like he was being pulled. I hesitated. The open door led to a nursery. No dust, no rot, just stillness. A crib in the center, toys on shelves, rocking chair by the window, slightly moving back and forth. Not because of wind, there was none, just moving, like something had just left it. Evan stepped inside. I didn't. I stayed in the hall, staring at the walls, and that's when I heard it. A giggle, childlike, soft, right next to my ear. I spun around. Nothing. But when I looked back into the nursery, Evan was gone. I ran in, called his name. Silence. The room looked the same, except the crib was now empty, and the rocking chair had stopped. There was only one place he could have gone. The closet. I yanked it open, empty. No clothes, no Evan. Just a tall, full-length mirror leaning against the back wall. I looked into it, and froze.it didn't show me. It showed the room behind me, but not as it was now. It was burned, walls scorched black, toys melted, the crib twisted into something unrecognizable. And standing in the middle of that hellish reflection was Evan, pale, expressionless, eyes wide with terror, hands at his sides like he couldn't move. I reached out to touch the glass. It was warm. Then I felt fingers wrap around mine. Cold, dead, wrong. I yanked my hand back and fell, crashing out of the closet. When I looked again, the mirror was cracked, and Evan was gone from the reflection. The air changed, grew heavy, like the house had noticed me now. The door slammed shut behind me. I tried it, it wouldn't budge. That's when I started hearing whispers. Not in English, not in any language I knew. Just layered, breathy, garbled sounds, coming from behind the walls. I kicked the door open and ran. The hallway was different, longer, twisted. Doors that weren't there before now lined the walls, and something was behind them, scratching, scraping, breathing. I ran past them, refusing to look, until I reached the stairwell and saw something waiting for me at the bottom. A figure, tall, thin, his face wrong. No mouth, just skin stretched tight where it should be. And its eyes were wide, sunken, and glowing faintly white. It stood motionless, but I knew if I took another step, it would move. So I didn't. I backed away, heart hammering, breath catching. Then the thing twitched, just once. And all the doors in the hallway behind me opened at once. I turned and bolted in the opposite direction, not knowing where I was going, just away. Ended up in a room with tall windows covered in black curtains. I ripped one open, hoping for light, but there was nothing outside. No trees, no sky, just darkness, thick and endless. I wasn't in Vermont anymore. I wasn't even in the real world. I was inside the house, and the house was alive. Behind me, I heard the soft creak of a door opening. Slow, deliberate, then footsteps, bare feet on wooden floor. Getting closer that I ducked into a corner behind a tattered couch, holding my breath. Then, silence, until a woman's voice whispered, so close it felt like it came from inside my own skull. "One of you may leave." I jumped, turned. No one was there. But on the table in the center of the room sat Evan's phone. Still recording. I picked it up. The footage was corrupted, glitching, but one single frame, showed something I'll never forget. Me, standing in that same room. But something was behind me,